And hello. Welcome to the Absolutely Lower League show where we cover everything from the EFL Championship, League One, League Two, National League, National League North, National League South. And we are here. We've made it. Claire's having a wonderful time
Look
already.
at Ant.
And it's in snowy conditions. The background has taken him over with all the snow in today's background. Hope everybody is okay. As you will have noticed, I'm not Charlotte. I apologise for that straight off the bat. I'm tonight's second choice goalkeeper. We haven't got our safe pair of hands, so hopefully I won't drop any clangers. But we do wish Char. She's poorly bad, so we hope that she gets well very, very soon and rest up, Char. But I do have, as is Christmas, I have my special elves with me this evening, my lovely elves, and a very special elf who was hosting yesterday, and I must say did a fantastic job on the women's show, and was an excellent show. If you didn't catch that yesterday, Mr. Ant, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all recovered from nearly having a heart attack last night, hosting that. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it. Thanks very much for that. Yeah, I'm good. Are you?
I'm not too bad. Today's been a day. It's been a day. That's all I can say. It's a day and it's still going on. So we've still got plenty to do. And I've got another elf with me. The naughty elf of the podcast is with me today.
It's Rebecca.
Yeah, Rebecca. Behave yourself. Of course, I'm referring to Claire. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Can't grumble. You can't probably see it, but I've got Daisy's little Christmas tree behind me there. Wait, you can see the top of it.
Got it now. I don't know why I did this. I did this as if I could look round you.
I mean, have you seen my camera? Yeah, things all right. Just busy with work. No hangover like you, though.
Like me, no hangover like me. Have you noticed just the one Bailey's last night? It was very good. And of course, we have our studious elf, our celebratory elf, who's had a very exciting week with her ice hockey, her game too, and all of that business. So it is Rebecca. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Yeah, it's been a hectic but very exciting week, and I got my uni results back, and I've passed all three of my first second year assignments, and I've got
well done.
Get in.
Some of my highest scores on these three as well, which is really exciting.
Smashing it. There we go. Putting us all to shame with your intelligence, Rebecca. It's a good job you're here to bring up the brain levels on the pod tonight. We're here. And of course, it's not just us. It's the wonderful, wonderful people in the chat. So we will, of course, give you your hellos. Hello to Spenny Fan Chris. Good evening to you. We have Husky. Good evening, legends. Get well soon.
It's called Kyle. It's called Kyle.
Kyle. There we go. See, I'm new to this lower league lark, you see. They keep me right. We've got, what else have we got in the chat? I've gone way too far down. I can see a Chris. Hello to Chris. Happy Friday from is that Straya? Is that how we pronounce it? Australia. We did have a guest from Australia yesterday. Is it 2 a.m. there tonight as well? Please don't dwell too much on Lactic's dismal effort last weekend. Weldstone took Phil off. Fury this weekend. We have as well. Again, Chris saying hello to everybody. Isn't that lovely? Mr. Luke is here. All right, everyone. All right, Mr. Luke. We've got Johnny with us. Hello to Johnny. We have Simon with us. Hello to Simon. We have Sean. Hello to Sean. And we have Graham. Hello to Graham. Look at all these lovely people. Isn't it fantastic? We have Dreety. Hello to Dreety. Fantastic. And everybody congratulating Rebecca. Look at that. Look at the love for Rebecca in the chat. Isn't that wonderful?
Superstar
of the pod. And say, Claire, did you want? I know there was something you wanted to say. There's been a couple of sad incidents regarding a couple of games and players in last couple of days. I know you wanted to speak on that. Did you want to hit that off the bat?
Yeah, I just think obviously as a podcast we like to talk about the really sensitive issues, and I feel like these things that keep happening are just so sad. So firstly is to pay our respects and send all of our love to Caelan Dennis, who unfortunately passed away whilst he was playing a game this week. So I just wanted to read the statement from Barnet because I think it'll, do more justice than I could do, because they say it's with profound sadness and a heavy heart that Barnet Football Club announces the tragic passing of academy player Caelan Dennis. Caelan was from a footballing family, and playing professional football was what he aspired to. He was a much-loved member of the Bees Academy, his personality, talent and passion for the game shining through every training session and every single game. At school, he was popular. He was positive with his peers and especially with his teammates, but also with his coaches and teachers. The club were all devastated by the heartbreaking news and would like to extend their condolences to his family and friends at this terrible time. And the thoughts and prayers are with them. I know they'll be paying tribute to him on Saturday. But it's just incredibly sad. He was a 17-year-old boy, and for him to die whilst playing a game of football, it's just tragic, isn't it? 17, he's got his whole life ahead of him, and I think we say it often, but I think it's just another reminder that life is really, really precious. So don't let the fear of doing something stop you from stepping outside your comfort zone. Keep stepping outside of it. Follow your dreams and reach for the stars. But yeah, just loads of love to his family and friends and the players that unfortunately had to witness that. It's just tragic, isn't it?
Super tragic, super sad. Super sad. Very well said, Claire. Yeah, I mean, as a podcast, the stories are horrendous, whatever the story is, but say 17, that's just absolutely gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
2 weeks before Christmas as well, so it's going to hit hard, isn't it? It's horrible. So horrible.
Yeah, and I suppose the other one to mention is, and sadly, Luke, who is our resident Gateshead fan, was unfortunately at Farsley Celtic away in the week when Farsley Celtic's captain Lewis Turner unfortunately had a cardiac arrest on the pitch. So I did speak to Luke and just ask him first and foremost if he's all right, given what he's witnessed as a young lad. And obviously it was something that he described as like horrible to witness. The good news on that side though is that Lewis is doing really, really well. So on that side, fingers crossed that Lewis makes a full recovery and is able to get back out doing what he loves doing. And I guess really like for each and every one of us, it's a key message as to why having the knowledge and bravery as well to carry out CPR on someone is so important, because it really can like be the difference between life and death. And clearly the efforts that have been made for him on the pitch are something that's brought him back to everybody. But there's free courses on the British Heart Foundation website that teach you about CPR, and yeah, just if it's something that you can do, hopefully nobody that's part of this podcast needs to ever do it, but if you do, having that knowledge is just so important.
It is indeed, and it's horrible for to have to witness something like that. So yeah, Mr. Luke, of course, and it's lovely that the chat are also reaching out to him as well. Johnny and Sean as well, sending their cares to say for someone to see us in the crowd, and I'm positive that the guy will hopefully be Lewis Turner will get better, and that his family and that are sort of around him. So Mr. Luke said he'd like to mention sending my best wishes to Lewis Turner Fars. They're horrible to witness in person, and thank you for reaching out to me, Claire, which is absolutely.
And do you know the other thing, just on that as well, just to say what an incredibly understanding and empathetic bunch of fans at Gateshead. because I read the comments and they were all saying absolutely the right decision. Obviously, they'd had a journey down to Farsley as well. None of them were remotely bothered about that game being abandoned because all of their thoughts were with Lewis, as it should be. And I just felt like all of them were just so classy in the way that they responded to it. And obviously realising life's more important than a game of football.
It is. We all love game of football and we all love football, but it is it's a part of life and not the other way around when something like that happens. And has to always take precedence and say congratulations, Gateshead fans, for seeing that.
Don't make me look stupid, Luke.
You spoke so I won't embarrass you by putting that out, Claire. We'll just leave the story as it was for everyone to enjoy. And well done on that long journey, Mr. Luke. Very proud of you. So, shall we get into some? There's been lots of football this weekend and midweek, and all the time. So, shall we start off? We're going to start off, of course, with a league that had a double fixtures this week. It is, of course, the Championship, Le Championship. There was 10 games. People played at home. People played away. People travelled. Some people didn't travel. But there were 10 teams that were at home because there was Cardiff postponed against Watford and Plymouth postponed against Oxford. But of course, we have to come to our resident Championship man, Mr. Ant. Do you want to start with Sunderland? Because my daughter's having a coughing fit, and I may just have to make sure she's okay a minute. Hand you the ropes.
Sure, man. I'm having a coughing fit at the minute. Yeah. Which one are we on about? 2-1. 2-1 against. This week's been mad. So that was a stormy one. 2-1 against Stoke, which. Playing Stoke. The Stoke are just like
Stoke, aren't they?
They're just one of these teams where you know that they're not going to try and play against you. And to be fair, though, I can't remember who's in charge of them now. It's the lad who was he was assistant manager somewhere last year, and he got that job, and he has got them playing all right. But the bother was, it wasn't a great game because obviously we had 60-mile-an-hour winds. All the rain was flooding down and stuff. It was quite comfortably the coldest game ever that I've been in. It was horrible. And we're undercover as well, so we've got quite nice seats and stuff, but still the rain's hitting your face and stuff. And I'd said I don't know how long I'm going to last this game. And then they scored after 6 minutes and thought, if they get a second, I might have an excuse to leave. But fortunately, literally about 20 seconds after we scored. Tommy Watson getting his first goal for the club. Another young superstar off the academy. I don't know where we're getting them all from. They just seem to be all mint when they're coming up for the academy. And he was outstanding. It was because of him we won, to be honest. And then from then on, we dominated. Their goalkeeper, Victor Johansson's made 3 or 4 tremendous saves. We've missed sitters. And it didn't look like we were going to get anything. And then Patrick Roberts has broke free down the right, pulled it back. Watson gets in there, hits it first time. Takes deflection, it goes in. A good 3 points, very valuable 3 points because we haven't been playing well lately and we haven't been picking up results. We've been getting too many draws. Obviously, we drew again on Tuesday, which I'm sure we'll get into. But it was one of them ones that's quite welcome. I'd said this week we need a 7-point week. So far we've got 4, so it gives a bit of pressure on Saturday. But it was just a horrible game with the conditions. I'm sure everyone who went to a game on Saturday probably felt the same thing. It was just a minging day. And if you manage to get the 3 points, then fair play to every team in the country, to be honest, because it was horrid. You can't play football. You can't play proper football, can you? It was a minging day. But 3 points that put us within touching distance of Leeds and Sheffield United again, but they went and won. So I think we're about 4 or 5 points now off them two. I think them two are away. I've got to be honest. I think them two will be the two that go up, and we'll be in the playoffs probably with Burnley, maybe Borough, Blackburn, who are absolutely brilliant at the minute.
I thought, after losing Smodix as well.
Yeah, I thought they'd struggle as well, but they've bought well. We're probably getting there on. I think they've bought really, really well. But Yeah, I mean, as far as we're concerned, we're unbeaten at home this season, which is good. 10 games, 10 games unbeaten at home. That's going to be important. The rest of the season, we just keep picking up injuries. Right, we've had another 2 go off Tuesday night. We've still got players out for long term, so we need to get the Christmas kind of fixtures out of the way, and then try and get some players in. You know what I mean? Certain attacking midfielder on loan from Aston Villa at a certain club might come in handy this in January. But we'll see what happens. I mean, like I say, just fair play to them on Saturday because they did.
You can keep your hands off him. He's not leaving.
I think that they did work really, really hard on Saturday, and they did, put everything in. And we got a late goal, which was good. So a good 3 points against Stoke side, I think, are just middle of the road, to be honest. So, and then we've got the joys of playing them twice in 3 weeks, in the coming 3 weeks, because we've got them away soon, and then we've got them in the FA Cup, which is the tie of the round. So there we are.
That's good.
Is
that snow behind the cameras making anyone else's eyes go funny?
Yeah, it is.
I've had 2 nights of it though, so I'm used to it now.
It is a
I
little
keep
bit.
on thinking the snowball's going to hit in the face. I'm trying to dodge that.
It is all over the place. Thanks to Mr. Josh for our Christmas themed intro and behind. So yeah, we'll all be all ducking and diving tonight. But no, where did you keep producing all these young talents from, Ant? Is there a slight worry because of your injuries that you're going to burn some of them out? Is that a bit of a worry that you have trouble to rotate them?
Well, unfortunately, Watson got injured on Tuesday, so he's out for 2 months. Bearing in mind, the last 3 games has been our best player, and then we need to give Chris Rigg a rest because he is knackered, and they need to give him a rest. But the bother is because we haven't got anyone to win for them. We had 3 attacking left wingers at the start of the season. They're all now injured. But I think Mundell's going to be back fit. Obviously, we had Jack Clark. He got sold. Sorry. Now Watson, who was 3rd choice, who's done so well, he's now injured. We've got a few coming back, due back soon. But no, as you mentioned with the academy, I mean, there's 2 or 3 ready to go. I mean, I'll keep mentioning Matty Young, who was out on loan at Salford. Managed to get a league debut for Salford the next couple of weeks. I think we're on about recalling him because the arrangement was he was going to play every week and he's only been playing in the Cups. But he's made penalty saves. He's done really well in the FA Cup for them. And he's going to be a cracking goalkeeper. We've got a lad called Trio Genshui, who's Belgian, who's a striker. He's going to be a fantastic player. Got an Armenian 6'4", 16-year-old who's apparently breaking all records in the.
It just shows, though, doesn't it? An Armenian. It just shows that these scouts do an incredible job of getting out and about. And
yeah, and you know what? As well, it goes to show that the way we're doing things is the correct way to go. Because we're getting young, hungry players, and this is even if we're signing them, but we're getting young, hungry players, developing them young, as we're doing in the academy as well, and they're getting up called up to the first team and they don't look out of place. You know what I mean? None of them that's come in, you've kind of went, it's probably a bit too early for them, and they have another year in 23s. We've nurtured them really well. And I mean, you look at it in January, apparently Real Madrid and Dortmund want to sign Joe Bellingham, and it's going to happen. You know what I mean? We are going to lose players and stuff like that, but it's really nice to kind of have this interest. Otherwise, because obviously 5-6 years ago when we were in League One or even in the Premier League, when we had players who were just taking the mick, they came to Sunderland to get paid a lot of money and not put the effort in. Whereas we've got 18, 19 players that we've used this year who every single one put the effort in, and it's because they're young, hungry, and ready for it. So
that's good as well, because if he goes to either of those clubs, that's not going to be a cheap transfer, and it gives you the ability to make get cover from elsewhere if it's needed.
And we've still got the Jack Clark money as well, so that's to spend, I would imagine, in January. But I don't think we need much. We just need we need another right winger, maybe another centre midfielder, because we've still got a lad who we signed on loan at the transfer window. I was so excited to see, and he hasn't played yet because he's been injured. So still got him to come in. We'll be all right. I think we'll hit the playoffs, but I think the top two just got too much. The 2 best teams I've seen this season are the 2 top. So I think Leeds and Sheffield United are just going to have too much for us and the rest of the sides. But hey ho, I'll be happy with playoffs. I said at the start of the season I'll be happy top 10, and I think we'll comfortably hit top 10. So all good in the hood.
It's all good and hood. It's all positive, all positive, all positive. Rebecca, is there anything in the Championship that caught your eye of the excitement? Not the postponed games, obviously.
As Anne briefly touched on, Blackburn, incredible run they're on at the minute, and I know Hull are struggling quite a bit. And for it to be an own goal, but Blackburn are just showing what they can do and the signings that they've got. I mean, Todd Cantwell has been an incredible one for them. There are a few jokes on if he lasts, because there have been some cases when he was at Norwich and Rangers where he does drop off a bit, but he is a very strong player and he is very creative for them. So I do feel as though he is a big standout. And then they've also got the attack sorted, because they have had issues where they've been struggling to find like the high crosses to be able to find someone in the box, but they seem to have been able to develop that and get things together. So another win for them. And it was the same on, I know we're not on this yet, but Tuesday to make it 5 wins from 5. So they are pushing very high up now.
It's like what Claire says as well about Blackburn. They lost Smollix and they also lost Sam Gallagher because he went to Stoke. But they've brought in like a couple of strikers, and I'm not going to attempt to pronounce the names, but they both already cost like 2 million, 2.5 million or something, but they've both hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And that's what you want. I mean, it's great to see, because, I mean, Blackburn are another one of them clubs that I don't think anyone's got a bad word to say about Blackburn. You know, you want to see them do well. You know, they were one of the early winners of the Premier League. Sorry, Sam. But, you know, one of like the early winners of the Premier League.
One of them, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're just a good, well-natured side as well. I've been down there I'm going down there on Boxing Day actually for our game against them, and I really like them as a club. You know, the Venkies have done what the Venkies have done there, but they seem to be coming on the other side of it now. And what a great manager in Eustace, who, as we mentioned last year, should never have been sacked at Birmingham. He's done a cracking job there.
He's done fantastic.
100%.
He really has, because I mean, as you said, Ant, they've had Hashi, the striker's come in. He's got 4 straight off. A lot of them were quite early on, and they picked up Vyman on a free, didn't they, from Bristol City? And I also think Travis in midfield has been superb for them so far this season too. They're not conceding many goals. Last season they were absolutely hemorrhaging goals left, right, and centre, and they tightened up ship as well. So Eustace has done a brilliant job. No one foresaw them being up here, but now they are. They're on a fantastic run, so who knows? Who knows where they can take it? But one team who haven't quite had that, and it's been a bit chaotic, as Graham says here, chaos at Millwall this week. There's been chaos.
It's crazy because he took them from a struggling club to a club that I think are doing pretty well. It really shocked me.
He came out with that crazy statement at the weekend. What was it he called the fans?
Stupid.
yeah, another word for stupid, wasn't it? Basically, he used thickos. That was it. He said the thickos amongst the fans are expecting too much without the players that we're missing. So something was obviously.
Did he?
Yeah, that came out. Was it Saturday? I think or Sunday after the game.
I didn't see that.
I think because they had injuries under that, like 3 players out injured. I think Tanganga was one of them, and he was like, "There's no this, no that, no Tanganga," and Thicker was one more, but that's Millwall FC, didn't he? And you can't say that. You can't say that, and expect to get away with it anyway. And
oh, that's mad.
I know. Yeah. The bother was I was hoping, like, obviously being slightly biased here, I was hoping that it would spark a reaction in him and the team on Wednesday night, because we're playing Sheffield United. Sorry, and we've got his last game Saturday, isn't it? But who do you think will get that job? You reckon Mark Robbins for that one for Millwall? Because he's the underdog, isn't he?
Yeah, good shout. Probably.
Good shout.
Yeah. And look at that result for Portsmouth was really good at the weekend, wasn't it? Because they've been really struggling this season.
Yeah,
massive. They've got Bishop back, haven't they? Colby Bishop is huge for them, and he's back.
Yeah, and didn't Bristol had a couple of injuries as well, didn't they? But you can't take anything away from that. 3-0 is a really good result, and same for QPR as well.
Yeah. I was going to point out that because they're on fire at the minute. They're one of the form teams in the league now, considering where they were at the start of the season and they were struggling. And I think they've got the blue Norwich away. I mean, yeah, I probably put the hex on Norwich because I put them in our little family bet that we do. I said Norwich and 3-0 down after 50 minutes. Oh, that's not going to win.
I did as well. We got one at work where we have to pick a team to score the most goals. I was like, Norwich, QPR. Yes, all day long. No.
And just don't pick us, will you, at the weekend?
I won't. No, don't worry. I nearly went News this week actually, but like for last week against Exeter, but I didn't. I thought Norwich would win that, but like I say, they followed it up as well, and that's a good thing with QPR. That they've followed it up on Tuesday, Wednesday with another win. So they're going. They really are. I think they've turned it around, and I don't think they'll go down. I think there's worse teams than QPR in the league. Unfortunately, I think one of them's Hull, which we mentioned last year, that they made a massive risk in spending an absolute fortune on players and players' wages, and needing to get up really. And I think they're losing like 800 grand a month, and now it's come to roost now because they never went up. Now they can't buy anybody. They've obviously got rid of the manager. They've had to get rid of players, and they don't look good at all. To be fair, they've lost again at home. I think they scored a very late goal on Wednesday against Watford, and then Watford equalised straight away. And they're just not getting any luck. They're not getting anything at the moment. So it'd be interesting as well. I think they got Redding's manager, didn't they? But he's got to hit the ground running. He's really got to hit the ground running there.
Yeah, they're under pressure. I think so. I saw the stats at Blackburn that they were unfortunate. To be fair, I think as you said, that there was a bit more of a performance there. Sellis was in the crowd. I think his first game was the game just on midweek, wasn't it? Which we'll come to in a minute. But yeah, he's certainly got to start. We've got Richard in the chat talking about QPR, saying that the manager was one game from losing his job.
Oh wow!
Getting a few players back from injury. Well, they were just tanking down, wasn't it? I think they were on a horrendous run, and then they had a couple of. They had another win as well, I think, prior to this that sort of started to boost them up, and now they're at the relegation zone.
I want to say they're unbeaten in 5 or 6. I know we went down there and got a 0-0 draw, and I don't think they've lost since. I mean, Richard, who was in the chat, obviously looks like he's a QPR fan because they've got a QPR badge as his photo, but I don't think they've lost since that game. So, and they should have beat us really because we were down to 10 men.
Shall I tell Richard what I call him?
Huh?
QP, haha.
QP, haha.
Don't worry, Richard. Sorry.
Pulling the Christmas crackers out early. That's our Claire. And talking of Christmas crackers, Graham's in here, of course, with one of his. Do you think Travis was playing for Blackburn on Saturday, wondering why does it always rain on me? Very good.
Oh
Very
my
good,
God.
Graham. There we go. Christmas. I reckon Graham writes the jokes that you get in a Christmas cracker. I think that is Graham's job. That's his job. So I look forward to whatever it's going to present me on Christmas Day, Graham. I hope it's a good one. We will go to the midweek games in a minute, but Johnny's come in with his match report for Sheffield United. Have to say, we started poor and we got back into the game with 2 good goals. Then we set back and West Brom came on to us and scored, but happy with the draw.
West Brom's second goal was an absolute stunner as well. Really good goal.
Oh, yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah. Josh Fellows, I think, who got it. It was a fantastic strike.
It was an absolute peach. And West Brom like a draw, it's fair to be said, in recent times. So another one for them. Should we move on to the midweek championship fixtures?
Yeah.
There they are. Yeah, thanks, Claire. I will. There they are. Go on then, Claire. Anyone stand out for you straight off the bat? All of them.
I don't know why. I've just got the giggles. Another good away win for Blackburn there. They're keeping a lot of clean sheets, aren't they, at the minute? Good point. Good win for Luton as well.
Yeah. I think with Blackburn as well, because obviously we mentioned them a lot tonight, but they've signed well this year with getting Cantwell on loan was a great signing, potentially. You know what I mean? Because Cantwell can be either brilliant or terrible. He's not never a 6 out of 10, is he? He's either a 9 or a 1, to be honest. But they seem to have got the best out of him, and that's good about it. But they've also, they signed Danny Barth, who used to play for us. He was playing for us last year when we have sent him out on loan. And I thought he was finished when he left us. I thought his legs had gone, or he was picking up too many injuries. He's been outstanding for them at the back. And I think he celebrated, I want to say it was his 300th game or 400th game. So that's a good milestone for him. But they are keeping clean sheets, they're scoring goals, and they're the team to watch out for in the playoffs. Or even if they keep going and they beat, the sides like Leeds or Borough. I mean, they beat Borough, Leeds. I want to say Sheffield United, but they've definitely beat Sheffield Wed and Hull. And their Twitter page said, obviously, we've done the Yorkshire quadruple, and he mentioned Middlesbrough as a Yorkshire team, which I thought was quite funny. But yeah, they're playing really well, and I think they're going to be a team to watch out for. I think if they keep this going, then they'll be right up there.
Yeah, they've got shades of Ipswich a little bit about them from last season, haven't they? Where they're just kind of getting that run together, and who knows where it takes them. You say it all comes down because they had a bit of a wobble, didn't they, before this run? I think they kind of gone 5 or something without a win, but now to kind of keep that going, certainly get it. One team, Spenny fan Chris has mentioned in the chat, Oxford getting beat again. It's starting to turn for them, isn't it?
Yeah, and I've got to say, all the teams I've seen this season, they've been at Sunderland. Obviously, they've been the poorest. I've got to be honest, and they were doing well when we played them. So they're just. It's lack of goals, the goals have dried up and they can't seem to. The total opposite of Blackburn. They can't seem to score and they can't seem to keep a clean sheet, and it's not looking great for them at the moment. Considering you're looking at the likes of QPR who are now picking up points. Luton are now seemingly turned that corner. They're getting dragged right into a relegation battle, going into the worst part of the year now because we've got the Christmas run coming up. Which games are coming thick and fast, and they've got to get out of it quickly. To be fair,
yeah. Am I right in saying that result put QPR above Oxford as well?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think it did. Rebecca, anything else stand out for you from the midweek games?
I agree with what everyone else has said. I'd just be repeating it.
Yeah, some good ones there. So Leeds winning at Middlesbrough against Middlesbrough as well. So they're starting to put a little run together too. I think Simon said on the Coventry game, huge deflection, some schoolboy defending and not taking our chances cost us last night.
Yeah, that's true. That I watched a bit of that game and I thought Coventry actually played quite well for a lot of the game.
There you go. On the upturn, the Lampard era is here, you see. Frankie boy.
We've just got to be patient with them, haven't they? They're going to lose games. There's going to be times where, especially before Christmas, before he can really get his ideas on board and, bring players he wants to bring in. And you've got to think as well, because he's got connections, at Chelsea, is it going to be a young, hungry, fit Chelsea player who's going to come down and, cause a stir? You know what I mean? So I think with that, there's reasons to be positive, even though, it wasn't a great result for them. I think his first game in charge, the snuck a draw in, didn't it? But the win on Saturday was brilliant for them. And it just gets that monkey off his back dead early, isn't it? And I think we all want, although I don't think he's an upgrade from Robbins, I think everyone wants to see Lampard do well, don't they? Because obviously he's a legend of the game, don't they? So, yeah, it's a bit of a difficult, but it's always hard to go to the Hawthorns and get something, to be honest.
Yeah, it definitely is. And so they're going to get blips as they're starting to put stuff together. Simon says we're playing a lot better under Lampard than we were under Robbins this season. I mean, there's no doubt that there's quality in that squad that should be above where they are, but time will tell, won't it?
The bother is with that, just ask the question, is that because of the change in management or because the players now have, like what Chris Wilder said the other way? I don't think he should have said it, but is it because they're running out extra now because they've got a new manager in? Which, why didn't they do that for Robbins? But, it is what it is.
It is what it is indeed. Mm-hmm. Right, I'm going to shove the table up. Why not? Let's see what's happening.
I'll just quickly say on Sunderland's game, we were terrible. I got a point. And good to see Patrick Roberts finally, joining in this season and getting a goal. So I'm really chuffed for him. And Adil Al-Shishu who was completely, apparently we were getting rid of him in January. He came on and set the goal up, and I've always liked Adil Al-Shishu at Sunderland, so fingers crossed he can kick on now. And just to very, very quickly say thank you very much to Dennis Serkin and Trey Hume, and also 4 of the Lasses players, Katie Watson, Jess Brown, Megan Borthwick, and Grace McCarthy, who all came down to help out and put a shift in at the Sunderland Community Soup Kitchen on Monday. It was amazing to see that, and everyone who came in were buzzing and stuff, and the club actually gave a lot of free merchandise out. I was helping, distribute the free merchandise. Everyone came out with a smile on the face, so absolutely amazing. So thank you very much to the club for doing that. I really appreciate it.
That's amazing.
Lovely.
Yeah,
that is
brilliant.
Lovely stuff. I've got to read this chat that's come in. I know what he means, but Sean has said also Rooney bringing in Phelan as his ass man has hopefully changed.
Oh, to be fair, I mean, Mike Phelan quite well, Sam, obviously, because he was at United, wasn't he? It's also...
Do you know what? That message even funnier? I'm so sorry, and I really am sorry.
Sorry?
Bringing in Phelan as his ass man.
Phelan.
Ass, yeah.
Stop.
I mean, it might change Rooney's form. You never know.
might give them the spark they need.
Just to make a very quick point regarding that, we look where Plymouth are in the 17th in the league. I know it's only by a point or whatever on goals difference. They've got a game in hand because it got called off. But is that one where if Plymouth are to make a decision on Wayne Rooney, Mike Phelan's there, a steady pair of hands, someone who's done management before, someone who's obviously been at Man United, learned from the best there. It's kind of this one. Yes, it's a good appointment. Hopefully, you can turn the form around, but it's also if they get rid of Rooney, it's someone straight in there, isn't it? And that would worry me slightly if I was Wayne Rooney. I've got to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know how much Rooney had in it though, because the assistant manager went, didn't he? And I think his comments was we had to move and try and do something quickly. So obviously Rooney's got that relationship with Phelan for the many years, and I think did he have the manager job at Hull once upon a time, Mike Phelan? I think
he
did. And obviously, say a legend at United, and as an assistant manager and as a support, has all the experience. So I just wonder whether it's a little bit of not Hail Mary from Rooney, but almost like I need some help here. Or I need to, because we're hemorrhaging goals left, right, and centre. I need to get this right. And I think he's realised, like, if we don't do this now, this isn't going to be looking good because they are on the slide. So yeah, it'd be interesting how much of it was the club, how much of it was Rooney, and how that will all work out. But again, look how tight it is down there. And the problem is that there are teams like QPR, Portsmouth that are starting to play a bit better. So it is dragging Plymouth the other way with their form. But they knew that going into this season that they were going to be up for the fight. So it shouldn't really be a surprise. You're
looking at like the likes of Derby as well, who were they were relying on home form, and the home form's kind of felt a little bit lately. They got a great draw the other night against Burnley, but that's what's going to keep Burnley down, I think, because they're just drawing too many games. They're not conceding it. I mean, I don't think they've conceded for about half a decade, to be honest, under Parker, but they're not scoring enough goals. Even like, I mentioned us before, we're not scoring enough now. But you look at like Sheffield United and Leeds, who 2 games for me that have really I kind of said to me that these two were going up was Sheffield United last night. So I don't think they played very well, and Millwall were brilliant at the end. And Leeds beating Swansea 4-3 the other week, where Swansea were ahead twice, then Leeds pegged them back. Leeds took the lead, Swansea scored with minutes to go. Leeds found a way in stoppage time. That's what's going to take them 2 up. Us and Burnley are drawing too many games, and now we're getting caught up by Blackburn. Still got a gap to playoffs, don't get us wrong, but I think them 2 are up. I think I don't want to kind of throw away the season with 28 games, but it's going to take something, I think, big to turn that around.
The other thing as well with Leeds, and they bought an awful lot of money in, didn't they, in the summer? They didn't spend an awful lot, so they have the opportunity, if they feel they need to as well, to do something in January.
And from what the rumours are up here, and I know we mentioned it before, but I think the Louis Barry kind of transfer that's possibly happening is that he's going to Leeds. So
no, it's not. It's not going anywhere.
I hope he doesn't. I hope he stays. Either he stays at Stockport or comes to Sunderland. But at Stockport, I would like him to stay there. But there seems to be a lot of whispers now, but apparently Leeds are after him.
Yeah, but it's all come from the same person. It's not come from Villa.
Yeah, well, I mean, to be fair to Leeds, Leeds can go and spend 20 million in January, and I don't think Sheffield United can, but they've still got a Premier League team really, because they didn't lose that many players from last year. The worrying thing would be next year, and we'll talk about next year, but you look at the 3 teams that have gone up last season are all struggling in the Premier League. Leicester, I think, are doing well, but Ipswich can't buy. And Ipswich was the best team by a mile last year in the league. They were so just so refreshing, but they can't win. Southampton are bottom, and Southampton are doomed. Is the gulf between and that Sheffield United team as well, bearing in mind they're doing really well for this league, was shocking in the Premier League last year. So it's like, is the gulf getting too big now? It's another topic for another day, but it's slightly worrying.
I think you're right, and I think we touched on it a bit last week when I was on it. I think it is, because you look at the depth of the Premier League, and you're talking about with teams like Bournemouth and how well they're doing. And a couple of weeks ago they were like 14th. Even you got teams like West Ham that are 16th, 17th, or whatever, but they're better than the promoted sides that come up. It is a real issue unless you have. But we've seen people try and spend big and it go crazy. Nottingham Forest did do it that first season and it almost backfired on them. And now they got that first season and it's helped them. But if you don't get out of that first season, you're in trouble.
And then how many players did Forest bring in? Was it 25 or something?
It was a coach load, wasn't it?
It was a massive gamble that, fortunately for them, paid off. But say if they went down, it would be you would look at a double drop, wouldn't you? Really, with the amount of players assigned, they'd probably have to get rid of. But it's like I say, it's probably another topic for another day. But mention as well. I mean, look at the top 3 as well. They've all got parachute payments. So us and Blackburn and West Brom are still fighting the good fight. But we'll see what happens. It's still a long way to go, but I just can't see them 2 being caught now.
Claire's playing the centre midfielder role, box to box. He's either side of the camera today.
Yeah, you're right with what you say about all of them. I just think something needs doing about the parachute payments, because it's not fair the same clubs keep getting all that money. And it's not a little bit of money, is it?
I mean, the bother is because I do, and it does sound like I'm being bitter, and I'm really not. You know what I mean? But it's seemingly, obviously Ipswich were the good story from last year because they just did it and then they just didn't care. But Ipswich still had to spend a lot of money to go up.
Yeah.
And yes, they've done it. They're going to get a lot of money, even if they come down this year, which I think they will. But then you look at that next year, they probably will be the best team in the Championship next year. Bearing in mind they might lose some players, but still, the likes of Sammy Schwadix, for instance, will probably stay at Ipswich. Jack Clark and all that came from Sunderland. And then add that parachute payment on, that'll probably make them the best team. But then when you watch them in the Premier League and they look out of place, even though they're playing well, they're not getting enough goals. They're not scoring enough. And the bother is because obviously Sunderland have got a good side at the minute. We mentioned Blackburn before, they've got a good side at the minute. West Brom have always had a good team. Borough have always had a good team. Are we going to be, down here for another, say, 2 or 3 years and the same teams go up and come down? Because the gulf in the money that they get is massive. We can't compete. We're going to have to, obviously we mentioned Joe Belling before, we might have to sell our best player just to be level with them on money, money that's coming into the club. So it's not good, and it doesn't make it for me. It doesn't make for a competitive championship anymore. Even though everyone says it's one of the best leagues in the world, this, that, and the other, but it's competitive down the bottom. There's loads of teams that are down the bottom. But you look at, see if we mention, I'll pick a team out there, Preston North End, who last year, the year before, come so close in the playoffs. And are now 14.
I suppose it doesn't always work out because, look where Luton are. But
exactly. Yeah. And obviously we did the double drop. Obviously 6 years ago we did the double drop, but there was a lot going on. And with Luton as well, they're spending a lot of money on a new stadium, which is what they need. But I'm trying to think of a team there that's been down for a while. Stoke City, for instance. When realistically can you see Stoke City, who were a good side in the Premier League, when can you realistically see them going back up?
See, I know it might be a bit controversial, but I see Stoke as a Championship club.
Possibly, yeah. But like,
I know they were pretty good in the Prem, but
you remember when like Pulis was there, they were beating the likes of they were beating everybody at home, weren't they? They were like, beating the teams top of the league, and I think Fergie and stuff. Yeah, like what Johnny says there, Portsmouth, who were the FA Cup winners in the Premier League. You know what I mean? And they're down. They've had to go obviously do the triple drop and then come back up. But where do you realistically say Bristol City, for instance, have always been a steady Championship side? Where do you see them ever getting the opportunity to go up? Where do you realistically see, I don't know, maybe Swansea City, who were a good Premiership side, Sheffield, who've been a good Premiership side, and Sheffield are a good team under a great manager, will probably never, barring a minor miracle, getting into the playoffs, and that can be a lottery. I don't think you can ever see them realistically being favourites to go up, because the favourites all the time are the three teams that come down because they're getting aided by a lot of money in the Premier League for television rights, this, that, and the other, and parachute payments. So it's not really fair. And as I said before, you look at Sheffield United, and I know Johnny's in the chat and stuff like that, but Sheffield United's team last year is pretty much the same. There's like obviously only Burnley left and stuff like that, but it's pretty much the same side. Yes, they haven't spent very much, but that's the same team that wasn't good enough for the Premier League last year, who are now top of the league and should be clearer by 2 extra points because they had a 2-point deduction. So if that's the best side in the Championship, that was the worst side in the Premier League last year, what does that say?
Correct.
I'm getting off my high horse now because I've spoken far too much. But, you know what I mean? It's just, for me, I would get rid of it and make it a level playing field, just to give the likes of, like I say, would anyone, like the year when Blackpool were in the Premier League, it was brilliant, wasn't it? They were so good. They enjoyed the moment. Luton last year, they enjoyed the moment. They look great. Who would like to see a Preston go up, or because they've never been in the Premier League before, or an Oxford United or whatever, you know what I mean? And be a really good,
just someone new.
Yeah, like a good news story, a good mood story for the Premier League, instead of the same old teams getting promoted and relegated every season. You know what I mean? It's going to be too much like a yo-yo like side there, and then the likes of and there's still some big clubs down there aren't never going to get their opportunity, which I think's I just think it's I think it's just too much of an unfair sight when you see that, but it is what it is. But it's not going to change, so they're not going to do it.
But it's difficult, and as you say, Ant, with like the money as well, because everyone points to money and says, well, they get the money so they can buy the players. Well, no, it allows you to continue the wages that you have for the players that you bought in the Premier League. You can sustain that, and even to the extent of, okay, Leeds didn't go up last year, but they were able, even a lot of players that they had that went on loan, they were able to retain them. They didn't have to sell them, because what they did was, a lot of those players, I think Brendan Harrison went on loan last season, didn't he? And a few others. And this season they've been able to bring them back because they can retain them. They don't have to make that sale. And I think Sheffield have not been able to keep that squad. So it's helped them in that aspect, where because of the other troubles they had, if they didn't have the parachute payments, they'd have had to decimate that side, and then God knows kind of where they'd be. So, but it swings and roundabouts, because we've seen Ipswich up last year, we've seen Luton the year before. So there are the odd story that's happening, but it's
when do you see them, Sam, at the minute, or maintaining that? I mean, the last team that's probably done it is Brentford, who've come up, stayed up. We mentioned Forest as well, actually, but Brentford who've come up, kept themselves very sustainable. They haven't been in any trouble financially, whereas Forest have, I think they needed to sell. I think they sold the goalkeeper to Newcastle, didn't they, for to keep ahead of PSR. But Brentford
Fulham are probably another one as well. Fulham have done pretty well, and have
Fulham, And what they've done, they've made themselves self-sustainable. They've like kind of kept a good experience of youth, and what they've done, and especially Brentford, have bought players like the Ollie Watkins of this world, who they got sold to Villa for 36 million quid. Spend that money wisely. Got Ivan Toney in, who was just as good. They got promoted. They've now sold Ivan Toney for a lot of money. But you look where Brentford are in the league now, 5th, 6th in the Premier League. It's great to see, instead of just all this, we're going to spend money left, right and centre all the time. You know what I mean? And that's a good point by Richard, but that's once in, 25, 30 years of the Premier League. Once that's happened. And it was 1,000 to 1 opportunity. It's not going to happen. And it's certainly not going to happen in this league if the parachute payments keep going, you're not going to get an Oxford finish top of the league. It's not going to happen.
This is it.
I said I'd stopped speaking 5 minutes ago, so I am now going to stop.
Yeah, now, parachute payments is done. We're done. We're done with the parachute payments. We will move it on, because we have to talk about League One. Claire would shoot me if we didn't talk about League One, particularly after this. So, Claire, there's your introduction. Tell us all about
Rebecca. You're going to have to take one for the team today and fill in for Shah. Are you ready to sing?
So yeah, I sing a different player's name, so it isn't on me to sing it.
Right, and you can do it.
Louis Barry.
He actually had a pretty quiet game, on Saturday. Not in a bad way, just I think the weather, that extreme bloody wind, did not make for a good game of football, and the first half was scrappy. Like, we hit the woodwork a couple of times, but it wasn't the best football match to watch. But you didn't expect that given the severe winds. And then second half, we were a lot better than they were. Exeter didn't really trouble us at all, if I'm being honest. As Rebecca froze.
I thought she was really happy. She's really happy about your match report.
She's just messaged me and said her Wi-Fi's cut off. She'll be back on in a minute. But yeah, we took the lead in the 67th minute, and it was actually an own goal by Tristan Kramer. We were well deserving of the goal, if I'm honest. And then what happens? Louis Barry doing what Louis Barry does. He kept making good chances. He did hit the woodwork, won as a penalty, scored the penalty, and we won 2-0. I think I've said it before, but I feel like that 5-0 hammering by Wickham the other week was probably one of the best things that could happen to us. I mean, I know Birmingham have beat us since, but that's the only team that haven't, let's be honest. They should be beating everybody.
Yeah.
It just seemed to give us a kick up the backside, and I think it scared some of them, not scared them, but shocked a better word, shocked some of our players. And we've just been so much better since then. Unfortunately, Fraser Horsfall did go off halfway through the first half, and it was really weird. He'd gone down a few minutes earlier, but spoke to the ref, and then no physio. Literally just a few minutes later, he went off, but he seemed to be limping a little bit, but he went off walking towards the side of the ground where like ambulances go to and stuff like that. So we were all pretty concerned. Anyway, it was all right, and it turned out post-match interview, we were advised that he'd gone dizzy and he was taken off as a precaution. So I really hope Fraser's all right. He's a very important player for us.
Okay, hopefully so.
I'm very much enjoying our ride in League One, got to be honest. And
doing so well, aren't you?
We don't win every week, but you know what?
No.
It's our first season in League One. Everyone's saying, "Oh, you're going to be shocked how much better it is," and it is better. It's a lot better in quality. But Jesus Christ, I didn't expect us to be up there. Like, I actually said to you guys, I don't think we're going to get in the playoffs, but if we do, then bonus. But I think it's more likely than I thought it was before the season started, if that makes sense. But we did sign a new player yesterday, subject to international clearance, and he is called Benoni Breaky Anderson, and he's from Iceland. Spent a lot of his youth career at Bologna in Italy, and he was like a record goal scorer from Reykjavik. Now, let me tell you, he is the only player in that country to get a perfect 10 on FOTMob. Is initially joining to be part of our Emerging Talents programme, and it's a superb programme. So it's above the academy, and basically we sign players to put them through like it's a bit of a different programme than like first team, and that's where he'll be going to start off with. He's only 19, but it wouldn't surprise me if he was included in the squad at some point as well, because I've watched what he can do on YouTube, and if he fulfills his potential, he's going to be one of the players that goes on to make us a lot of money. And I say that because like Mark Stott's thing now is that we shouldn't be throwing loads of money at it, and that's not a sustainable method. So rather than doing that, he wants us to sign good quality youngsters who have got the potential to make us a lot of money. And if he does what I think he can do, then he's gonna make us a fortune. And if you don't do anything that I recommend doing, then you have to go and look up this guy on YouTube, because you will be shocked how good he is.
And that's the way to do it now, isn't it? It's the only way you're going to be self-sustainable is getting these players young. Yeah, exactly
that. And I think, firstly, there's been a lot of talk amongst our fans about it being a replacement for Louis Barry. Clearly, it's not going to be that, because he's not going straight into the first team. He's going into the emerging talents pool. So, yeah, there you go. There's another one. It's not going to be something to replace Louis Barry.
Do you know what, though, regarding that, Claire? Just ask a question about it, and if it happens, it happens, because obviously Villa might want him to go and play in the Championship or whatever, see what he's like. But that's a massive credit to Stockport, isn't it, for what they've done with him? So obviously he came last season, he got injured, didn't he? And then he's come back. He's come back this season. He's took the League One. I mean, that just goes to show how good Stockport have done with him. Yes, he's done well, obviously, on the pitch, but got to be proud as punches for the club there. As we've developed this young lad. Yes, he's, it might end up being in I mean, with Tony rumours, isn't it? But it might end up being in January, he gets recalled. And you're going to be devastated because he's, a hell of a player. But what a job you'll have done with him. You know what I mean? And if he goes on to, represent Villa or whatever, then you're going to be happy as Larry, aren't you?
Yeah. So there's two parts to my feelings about that. And the first one is that we are run so professionally now as a club. We've got so many staff that form part of the coaching and everything. And I am incredibly proud of what they have all done for our club in the last few seasons. And, I think that it's a testament to them that the likes of Louis Barry and other players are doing so incredibly well for us. So, you say, I think it does prove that works for Louis. And I think it's no surprise that he absolutely loves Stockport County. His family loves Stockport County. And we love him as well because of what he has done to us. I think obviously they say don't fall in love with a lone player, but I think that's going to be a relationship that continues, and I can see Louis being that guy that keeps coming back. And I don't necessarily even mean to play. I think he would just be there supporting us. And like I've said so many times, like to see somebody like Louis, who's not necessarily had the best of loan spells previously, to see him doing so well for us last season and then so well this season, it just shows that we're giving him the right and the opportunity to play his game and to flourish being who he is as a footballer. And I think it's really important that a footballer is allowed to express their identity on a pitch and that you allow them to do that. So having said that, it would be a big loss for us. But first and foremost, I want Louis to have a really successful career. He's a brilliant guy. He's got a brilliant family. And regardless of where it is, I just want him to do well. And I know that he will do well.
Yeah, it's good that he's had that, as you said, that ability to express himself, to learn and to grow, but also that he's I like when they have that much time with a club, because I think it just grounds them. It just that they get that relationship and they really believe and understand what football's about, rather than they just sat in one of the big clubs' academies and, you know, they might play a League Cup game here or there. It's such a massive thing.
Don't forget as well, like Louis turned down Championship clubs in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as soon as he knew we wanted him back, he was wanting to come to county. So, like, obviously we don't have any say in it if Villa decide that they want him to go to that level. They want him to go to that level, and at the end of the day, that's his parent club. But I think it would make sense from my point of view.
Do you know what? I would agree with you. I would agree with that. I would agree that I get what, if it's all just speculation at the minute, isn't it? No, it's not confirmed or anything like that. But if you're like Aston Villa and you're seeing a player there who obviously loves it there, obviously, you know, he's found a home there and stuff like that. Why not just say, yeah, you know what? You know, they've got a half a chance of making it to the playoffs. Let's see how high they can get in the league. Leave him there. And then next season, we're going to say, well, look, whichever league you're in, if you're Championship, you can come back. If you're not, if you're League One, he's going to the Championship no matter what, which would make a lot more sense than just saying, right, coming back, and then he's an unhappy player, and say if he ends up, we mentioned Leeds before, he won't start every game for Leeds, because Leeds are a fantastic football inside, and have got a lot of good attacking players. So if he's going there to maybe play, you know, once every 3 or 4 games, he's immediately going to be unhappy, isn't he? Because he's not getting the love, he's not getting that at what he was getting at Stockport. So it would make sense for me to leave him there. But you know, I'm not a football manager. I'm not a director of football. But I think it's common sense, to be honest.
I think as well, I would just like to say what an absolute honour it is to have Dave Challoner as our manager, because whilst we are a progressive club, Dave Challoner is progressing as well. It's his first ever time at this level. And for his first ever time, for us to be sitting where we are heading into the Christmas period, I think it's a huge pat on the back for him and his hard work. And I'm really glad that he was awarded recently with the Football Manager of the Year. And I think he thoroughly deserved it. And I just think, you know, you look back and whilst it would never happen, over the last couple of years when there's been people shouting for his head because we've been going through a bad period of time, it just shows the importance of sticking things out and letting people learn. Because he is learning. We're going to go through bad patches. It's how you bounce back from that.
This is it. Doing a fantastic job. Imagine we could have at the end of the season, we could have Ant in the Championship playoffs, with Claire in the League One playoffs, and we could have Shah in the National League playoffs. I'm thinking end of season watch along.
And we could have you still promising to come to a Stockport County match, Samuel.
I have promised. December's not the greatest time, so when we get to next year, we'll do it. Playoff final. There we go. I'll be there. We will do it. And let's bring up the rest of the results, because there was lots of other stuff going on amongst the Storms. So we did have 3 postponements in League One: Blackpool, Rotherham, Bristol, Rovers, Bolton, and Crawley versus Stevenage. But Rebecca, anything exciting for you there?
Well, I mean, Chloe's already touched on it, but I thought it was a huge win for Stockport. And as we've said, the journey of them into League One has been incredible. And I think it's like, I'm very happy to see them doing well for Claire. It's like, it was a bit through gritty teeth last season when you were still in League Two, but it's like now to see how well you're doing and proving why you got promoted and how much like you've done to be where you are. It's a really good footballing story, and it will be good to see how far you can get. And if it is playoffs, then to say you've gone from League Two straight into League One playoffs for Championship, it is such an incredible journey. I know we don't talk 0-0s, but Lincoln and Charlton for me, that match could have gone either way because, no offence to Charlton or Lincoln, neither are in the best form. So
No.
I did think one of them was going to nick it, but then it does also just have 0-0 written all over it, that match.
I watched a bit of that on Sky Sports Plus, and it was one of the worst games of football. Obviously,
Pretty much sums up this comment from Graham,
really
that does,
bad,
yeah.
but Jesus Christ, like, I could have had a nap before our match watching that.
0-0, horrendous weather, worst game of football. What a lovely Saturday afternoon.
Short, sharp, and to the point.
It's the only thing that you can say about it, and honestly.
It was not the greatest win in the world. And anything stick out to you from that list there?
Obviously Shrewsbury getting beat off Cambridge is massive down at the bottom, and Cambridge seem to turn the corner. We mentioned before, obviously we've mentioned I don't want to like make this like a huge Stockport loving and stuff, but you look at what Mansfield have done. You know, like Mansfield have been doing really well and have fallen off now. You know, and it shows how good and how important it is for Stockport and Wrexham, to be fair. And Wrexham have got a lot of money, but the fact that Stockport and Wrexham are still right bang in there, Mansfield seem to be dropping away, and I think Cloughie's had a pop at the place saying they're not trying hard enough and stuff. And then obviously just because of Danny being on last night and Danny being over the moon, Northampton beating Peterborough. And look at where Peterborough are in the league as well. I mean, they're really struggling. Look, them and Rotherham are struggling badly. So that'd be the main one for me, probably Cambridge. But, you know, I just wanted to mention them other two as well.
That is a huge result for Northampton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was chuffed for them, like, you know what I mean? I know, like, you know, because obviously we've got a lot of teams around, like in you know, in our like family and stuff like that. But seeing, you know, I love watching it and seeing, you know, like Akron and Morecambe winning now, and to see Northampton win. I know they've been on a really bad run. I was like, oh, get in, Danny. You know what I mean? I'm just so happy for everybody.
What is going on with Peterborough this season, though? Because they're like 15th or 14th or something. Like,
It's not happening at all, is it? And they are.
It's just not what you expect from them, though, is it?
No, and there's a lot of talk, isn't there, as well, about Kwame Poku as well. A lot of teams are taking a look at him. I think he was linked quite heavily to Blackburn in the summer. And with what's going on, if he goes as well in January, that's a massive, massive hit when they're already struggling.
Yeah.
Massive hit. Sean, of course, talking about Northampton as well, said, I thought we got a bit lucky with the first goals. Hoskins was impeding the Posh goalkeeper, but Cam McGeehan scored, then Posh equalised. So 1-1 at half-time. RJJ, I like that. RJJ could have made it 2-1 Posh, but decided to play rugby. Fair enough. Instead, we scored 6 minutes in time to make it 2-1.
And am I right in thinking as well, Sean, is Cam McGeehan ex-Peterborough? Or was he Portsmouth? I know he's played for a team in the P.
Shara will be happy with that, though, after them getting Keane Hayes.
Signed their own downfall. And there we go. Just right, bang on time. There she is. Straight in. She knew it. Karma for them signing Keane Hayes. She's ready. She was ready for that one. Spenny fan Chris, Peterborough 15. Oof from Spenny fan Chris. And Shah says, hi everybody. But the first comment was karma for them signing Keane Hayes straight in. Darren says, no clean sheets in the lead for Posh either.
No,
that's crazy, isn't it?
I was wrong about Cam McGeehan as well. He was Portsmouth, not Peterborough. I'm sorry.
It was one of the P's though. You were right with the P's.
Yeah, and he was playing for a team with a P. I know he's played against us. But I just remember his name. I thought we might have been Peterborough. But no, it was Portsmouth.
It was Portsmouth indeed. Portsmouth. Here we go. Here's the table. Stockport went high in fifth. So we've got Wickham. Wickham Wanderers still leading. Can Wickham win the league here, Claire? Can they do it?
Best team by far I've seen this season. And I mean by far. I think a lot of it, for me, is, I can't remember his name. They've got someone in midfield that is out of this world. And obviously Richard Coney. If they can keep hold of them in January, then I think they'll be in with a very, very good chance of winning the league. Obviously, you've got to say it, Birmingham's budget, they absolutely should win the league. but there is no reason why Wickham can't go on to get promoted.
Yeah.
I think they were really, really impressive. You have to take your hat off to them. They're a really well-run club, and they've been improving for a few seasons now. But they were just so well organised when we played them. Do you know what? It's a nice little story, I think, because they're not the biggest club in that league. They've not got the best budget. I mean, I'm not saying they've got a poor budget, but I don't know. I think it's good that there's a team like Wickham up there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
imagine as well, they're the ones that jumped Wrexham and Birmingham in the same season. Like if they could imagine they could pick Wrexham and Birmingham with all of the stories and everything and the money behind Birmingham and little
Wrexham, really,
whatever.
Exactly. Obviously,
Wickham, for me, obviously we beat Wrexham, but beating Wrexham at Edgeley Park is just breathing. It's but they'll beat us away. Birmingham, we got beat by 2 mistakes.
Yeah.
Wickham, we got beat because they were so much better than us. They by far are the best team I've seen this season, by far.
I think it just goes to show as well that what patience does as well, because obviously last year they were struggling down the bottom, weren't they? And they could have easily, because obviously when Ainsworth got sacked at QPR, they could have went, oh, shall we bring him back? But they're stuck with Matt Broomfield, and I really like him as a manager. I think he's got Wickham playing in a way that you would never expect a Wickham Wanderers side to play. Like when they were in the Championship and when we played them down in League One, they were, a blood and thunder team. They got stuck in, but it was literally just bang the ball up as the best they can and hope that, the big strikers got on the end of it. Now they play some lovely football. You know what I mean? Like really nice, attractive football. So
they really, really do. Really do.
I would love to see it. I would just, as we've said in this, we've said we Birmingham aren't finding it as easy as I think a lot of people thought they would. But
think of it as well, though. The players that they signed in the summer and the changes when they got relegated. Obviously, there's a losing mentality. They've got all them new players. I think when Birmingham are bang on it and they all gel, I think that's going to be a frightening team.
And you would think that's more than likely going to happen January. Than August to January. You know what I mean? But
exactly.
And the good thing is about, well, I said a good thing, but the kind of thing that I've noticed with them in a minute, they are finding ways, to win games, which what you have to do. I mean, they were 1-0 down at Barnsley, weren't they? I know Barnsley got players sent off and they went on to win, but they're finding ways to get through tough times, which if they keep on winning, and as you said, if they gel, they'll probably run away with it. But it's good to see that, I don't think anyone predicted at the start of the season Wickham Wanderers would be top at Christmas. You know what I mean? So
you guys in the chat, what are the guys' thoughts in the chat as well about that? I don't know if you've got that kind of knowledge in League One, but the obviously there's a few fans in here that support League One teams. Like, do you think Wickham have got the ability, or do you think Birmingham are going to come too strong? Like, I'd like to know people's opinion, really.
You noticed as well, like in the top 5, you've got obviously Stockport there.
Woo!
Different, Huddersfield for a goal difference. Birmingham 16, Wrexham 7. It's all goal difference, by the way. So I'm not getting confused with points I got charted less early on the season. But Wickham 18, and then you've got Reading who are just who were doing brilliantly, but they're on just +5. And then there's teams in the top half who've got minus goal difference. So it goes to show as well that league is so condensed still, even though. There's teams that are doing well.
As well, though, Reading are prone to a battering, aren't they? Like, we beat them 4-1.
Yeah.
I thought 4-1, was it 4-1 or 4-0? I can't remember. But, there's pastings to be had there all around the tables. But look at the other end. What's going wrong with Rotherham? I think Steve Evans is such an experienced manager at that level. What's going wrong? Surely he's got to be fearing for his job.
Yeah. He must be, because they'd have expected to be challenging. That's if that continues much longer.
I think I had them top. I think I had them touch me putting the curse on them. So I thought they'd signed who I thought, oh, that's a cracking signing for the Championship. I can't remember who it was now. But I thought, they've done well, and obviously he went there last season, didn't he? And from Stevenage and stuff. But I think the problem is with Steve Evans, he's went from, being a small fish, a big fish in a small pond at Stevenage, and I'm not taking anything away from Stevenage, to, a manager managing players with a bit more ego than what they had at Stevenage, because Stevenage were literally last year the good news story of that league. Because, they were up there for the tailed off, but it was a brilliant story. Whereas now he's got to take it now, Rotherham now, with an expectation of we want to go back up. And I don't think he can cope with it.
Yeah. I think I'm surprised they've stuck with him for so long when they're doing so badly. But I think he might be out of a job after Christmas. See how the Christmas period goes for him.
Would have been canny though, because obviously they didn't have a game on Saturday, got postponed, so he might have filled in for Santa in some big shopping centre.
He made an appearance at Greg's, I think, the Greg's Christmas party.
He did. He was having a sausage roll with Sean. There you go.
That story about him eating sausage rolls in the morning, I think it's like the funniest thing ever. He's getting this player in, having to go at him for getting pissed at the weekend after the last match, and fucking eating sausage rolls while he's telling him off at about 9 in the morning.
I remember mentioning it to Farley last season when Farley was on, and it's like, how can, as a footballer, you take anything seriously? See, if Steve Evans says, "Oh mate, you need to go and get fit," you're like, hang on, pot kettle black, mate. You know what I mean? Yeah. it's mad.
Yeah.
He's mad. We've got answers to your Wycombe Birmingham question in the chat, Claire. We've got Mr. Luke says, I reckon Wycombe can do it. He said, I think Wycombe and Birmingham are going to do it here, but there are plenty of games to go. Spinny fan Chris, it's down to injuries. If Wycombe can keep their big players fit, then they can do it. Graham thinks Birmingham will have too much. And Dreety thinks Wycombe could potentially do it. So it's 50-50.
I think I agree with Graham. I think Birmingham are just going to have too much. But I'd like to see Wycombe do it.
Who was it who said about injuries, Spenny Frank? And that's the big important thing, that we're now into the nitty-gritty part of the season where games are going to come thick and fast. We play like
injuries, and Wycombe are going to be more likely to lose important players than Birmingham are. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I'd love for Wycombe to do it, but I just think Birmingham are gonna nick it. But I think it could go down to quite late on in season. I don't think either's going to run away with it. I think the pressure is going to be put on both, and we could see it fluctuate throughout, where one match will be 12:30 kickoff, so Wycombe will be top, Birmingham will be 3 o'clock, so then they'll go top. So I feel like it's going to be that close up until the end.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look how close it is.
Yeah.
And the pressure will probably be that a game that, as Becca's just mentioned there, see if Birmingham, I don't know what time the kickoffs are this weekend, but see if Birmingham have got the early kickoff on Saturday and they win, then they go top until 3 o'clock. The pressure would be then, the question would be then, how do Wycombe cope with that pressure? Because you can see all you want them to go, oh, the results don't matter, don't bother us, we don't listen to it, this and the other. Fine well what the other team's done. You know what I mean? So it'll all kind of how they manage to cope with that pressure. And you got to be honest though. Even if they do, not get top, they might get second, and you still get promoted then, don't you?
Yeah.
So I think I'll be. Yeah, I think they'll go up. I don't know where. I don't think they'll finish top, but I think they'll go up.
This is it. Who knows? This is the fun of it all, and Christmas. There's so many games, so many things to happen, and if we get any more postponements over Christmas, it's all going to be a bit crazy by the time we get to the New Year. Anyway, talking of crazy, it's League Two. League Two, Rebecca's always crazy. Obviously, no Barrow MK Dons, no Newport County Carlisle, no Notts County Colchester United. There was an Accrington game. Should we get it over with? Sorry, Rebecca, as I say, you're quite often in the Premier League when we're talking about Everton.
Yeah, I feel like that's just going to stick for the rest of the season, and no matter which podcast I'm on, it'll just be that. It was a frustrating loss. Did head into it thinking we did have a big chance. Bromley have been struggling a bit. We've had on and off form, so I did feel as though we could have got the win out of this, but football happens at the end. We are missing quite a few big players, and we did see Zako having to pull out of warm-up. We're not sure what's happened with him, when he'll be back or anything. And we are still without Tyler Walton and Jake Batty, who I really hope are back soon because they are two big players that we miss. Tyler Walton up front and Jake Batty. It does mean that we are without a left back at the moment. Seb is still out. Hopefully he's not got long left either, but we are being hit with injuries and we are starting to see the struggle. Bromley's first goal could have been defended, and it was a very, very annoying one. We did have Seamus Keneally filling in a centre-back with Zach having to pull out, so it was a difficult one. Ben Woods, he equalised for Accrington. It was. We don't know whether it was a cross or a shot. I think he'll say it's a shot, but it looks more like a cross. Pings in off the post, goes in, and it was a very well taken cross, and it paused well. It would have just been our luck it punged the other way. I think it was written that something like that would happen, but for once the post helped us. The second half, the weather didn't help. I mean, Bill Krellin was trying to do a goal kick, and I think it ended up backing him sometimes with wind. It just weren't great at all, and we just couldn't get into the second half, and they capitalised on that, added their second, and I mean, fair play to Bromley. Hopefully we can pull it back. We're Monday Night Football, which still sounds really weird at the fact you can watch Fleetwood and Aki on Sky Sports main event if you want. I don't know if you want to, but it just doesn't sound right. So yeah, hopefully we can pull it back and get a run going again, because we do have some difficult fixtures coming, and the Christmas period is always sort of like you make and break. So hopefully get players back. I do feel a lot of them might be holding on a bit because no one wants to be injured for the Liverpool match now. So I think that's a thought for some of them, but hopefully just bounce back from this and keep going. We are sitting all right in the league, which I think is every Aki fan's like comfort at the minute. Like, we're not in the relegation, so we are improving with that. It's just going to be hopefully get a win, get the run back going, and we'll be all right.
That's it. It can all be positive. It can all be positive. Graham Stone, how can you lose to Bromley? He says in the chat. Sorry, Rebecca. Graham, come on. And Sean says we pray for Rebecca on this difficult season with Everton and Aki. And Spain fan Chris, hashtag hugs for Rebecca. There's positive times ahead. You've got Liverpool on the horizon. There you go. That will turn your season around when you stuff them. Somebody needs to do the job on them.
Cannot wait.
Is that at home as well? That one, Rebecca, was it away?
We're at Anfield.
Yeah. Oh, are you getting a ticket?
Yeah, I got them today. Apparently, I don't know how true this is, but apparently they're on sale to season ticket holders and official Supporters Trust members. We've been given around 4,500, and I think we've already sold 3,000, and they've only been on sale 2 days.
No, quality. I mean, that'd be class. I mean, I hope like Liverpool. I mean, as much as like, you know, you're saying like, you know, you go there. It's a no-lose game anyway. But it'd be nice, say, if Liverpool do put, you know, a side out, and you know, you get to see the likes of Salah in the flesh and all that stuff. It's class, to be fair. It's just such a feel-good draw, isn't it? Like, there was so many good ones in the FA Cup, but that for me is it is the tie around for me. Just, you know, all the advert back in the day and all that. But it's just a cracking draw. So tough for them, like.
Yeah, and it, like the players have already said, they get to live their dreams, and the money that we can get from this match will keep us going next season.
Yeah,
I think it was like when the FA released the matches that were on TV, I think it was said that we get around 85,000 for being on TV, and then the gate with that, it will be incredible for us to be able to keep the club going. And it's better. We had Leeds a few seasons ago. Now we drew them at home. And financially for us, it benefited us, but we still had other issues that we had to do with that match. So it's like to finally get the big draw away, it's everything. And be a great day. And even if we are to get beat, which I don't want to say you expect, but it's League Two against Premier League, so it's likely. But even if we are, I think every Aki fan will still be proud of, no matter what the players do, and just the event.
Of course, it's a massive game. What do you think of the uproar about Everton's game having to be moved against Peterborough?
I do feel sorry for Peterborough. I mean, there's no trains that day. And then when like their statement that they put out, it explains everything, and it's unfair on them. From like an Everton perspective, it's like it is what it is. We've not got like the travel and things like that. So I do feel very sorry for Peterborough. I know it can't really be helped with the Liverpool match being at Anfield and the Saturday, but I do feel as though they could have either done like a Sunday match.
Yeah.
But I think it's more policing and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that is the problem, obviously. I know Everton are moving stadiums next year, but for people who haven't been to, a Liverpool Everton match, it is literally a park away from each stadium. It's not a far walk at all. So, you can't have both teams home on the same day. So it is sad for Peterborough, don't get us wrong, but it's the only thing they could have done, isn't it? What I would say, though, if I was to make a plea to, I doubt any executives from Liverpool or anything watch this, and I would say the same to Spurs, actually. Yous are both very, very super rich clubs, and I know the gate receipts are half anyway, but you're both super rich, you both got, a lot of money in the bank. Give Aki and give Morecambe 100% of the ticket sales and let them be self-sustainable for even sorts them out for a year or whatever. We all know how things are difficult at Morecambe at the moment, but it just helps, teams like Accrington and teams like Morecambe, because without teams like that, we won't have, the football pyramid won't be the same without, teams like that. Give
I don't
them
know about that though,
100% of the money.
No, they've still got the match day expenses. I think I'm not about giving them 100%.
Yeah, I want to see it happen. It's Christmas, Claire. I'm in a charitable mood.
That's it all.
Yeah, they're not charitable, I can tell you.
Even with, I think, is it like we get 45%? Because I think the FA take like 10%. I mean, even with that, for us, I think it's £20 for an adult ticket. And it's like you think of how big Anfield is, it could be, even with your 45%, it is a really good day for Aki to keep going.
Mm. Indeed. It is indeed. Well, there we go. We'll have that all to come, no doubt. We will look forward to that match. Graham's going to be watching your Monday Night Football because, yes, the Premier League show is on a Tuesday. So moved it especially for Rebecca so that everyone can watch Accrington Stanley on Monday. And it doesn't clash. So very exciting for that. We've got some other results as well in the league to get to. But, of course, our centre of positivity is in the chat. Driti says it can happen, Rebecca. Magic can happen. We beat Chelsea in the FA Cup almost 10 years ago and no one thought we could do it. So there you go.
And do you remember the scenes the Bradford fans? Because I remember that game very well. And the scenes, man, it's just, you see like grown men and women crying in the stand because they beat Chelsea. It's madness. But it can't, as David just pointed out there, at the end of the day, it's 11 against 11. Yes, Liverpool's 11 will be better than Aki's 11. It happens. But it's a game of football and you never know.
Oh, though they might make a stupid amount of changes. And
they're going to make a huge amount.
I mentioned that before.
Top of the Premier League and Europe, so they're going to be. And the other thing this season is the Champions League's going on until February. There's usually that break, and they've got another 2 Champions League games to fit in. 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I mentioned it before, Claire, when you were away. I kind of hope that doesn't happen. So I want, like your fans to see, like the likes of Salah, Diaz, and all that in the flesh. But that can't happen. You are right. And at the end of the day, it like I say, in any game of football, it's 11 on 11. Yes, that 11 is going to be better than Aki's 11. It is what it is. But it just needs to have a bad day. It needs a few players to have a bad day. Aki to have a really good day. Shocks happen. Is what the FA Cup's all about. It's happened before and it'll happen again. Yeah. So fingers crossed for Aki, to be fair.
As I said last time I was on, my prediction was the Josh Woods hat-trick. Josh Woods hat-trick and Bill Krellin to keep a clean sheet just purely because he's a boyhood Everton fan. And for him to keep a clean sheet at Anfield would be the best thing.
Dream big. Got to dream big. Come on, Aki. We'll all be behind you.
I can't see.
That's for sure. So elsewhere, what was going on in League Two? We've had a Spenny fan, Chris, has said he has to say, you can say what you like, Chris. Say it if you want to say it. Credit to Chesterfield this season. What a big win at home to Tranmere and just outside the playoffs. What a time for the fans after smashing the National League to do so well. Yeah, really good result for Chesterfield. 3-0 against Tranmere. And elsewhere, we have a happy a happy moment in a very difficult season and a struggling season for our Uncle Nick. Our Uncle Nick got a win this weekend. 3-1 against Fleetwood. Look at that. Look at that. Happy days. Happy days indeed for Uncle Nick. Anything else you want to pick up from League Two, those results that stand out for you?
Mentioned obviously, as I think I mentioned this about 5 or 6 weeks ago, but we haven't really mentioned Walsall that often. They're now top of the league, the big Portvale, top of the table clash. And again, it's one of them ones that I don't think anyone's predicted. So fair play on them. They're just slowly going about the business and doing really well. So that for me, obviously, I want to echo what you said about Swindon. I'm so chuffed for Nick, and I think they're off the bottom. I think they're the relegation zone now because obviously Carlisle didn't play. So, great to see. It is good.
Lovely stuff. And we have match report in from Dreety as well for Bradford, of course. Bradford were 1-1 with Crewe Saturday lunchtime. A point is a point. I'll take that all day long after we played 30 or so minutes with 10 men. Alex Patton was sent off after 2. He sent off 2 minutes after scoring. Happy with that point overall. Yeah. Draw for Bradford as well.
Great point. If you're down to 10 men away from home, take a 1-1. It's a great result for them. And they're just like there or thereabouts, aren't they, in the playoffs, Bradford? So
they are indeed. We shall have a look at that now. They are 11th, so not too far. They're still in the capitals. So anything can happen when you're in capitals. Anything can happen. And as you say, Anne, Walsall top of the league, 37 points with a game in hand as well over Port Vale and Doncaster. Before Crewe, Grimsby, AFC Wimbledon, and the team that I'm not allowed to say, so I won't, in 7th
No,
place.
we just call them Milton Keynes, that's all.
Just call them.
Who was it last? Was it somebody in this chat last week who mentioned Grimsby? Because they are doing so well, aren't they? Like,
they struggled like last season. They were in a relegation battle. Tell you what, though, how the hell with their budget are they bottom of the league? What is going on at Carlisle?
Yeah, I know they've changed managers, haven't they? Because who's gone in there? I can't remember, but they changed managers, and was it Mike Williamson? It was Mike Williamson, wasn't it? I think they've turned it around slightly, but they're still bottom. They've got a game in hand, but it's so tight again. You're not gonna like Tranmere now, Harrogate, who were getting dragged down, aren't they? Harrogate getting a pacing, didn't it, the weekend? So it's going to be interesting because I think that bottom two won't be the bottom two at the end of the season. I hope Swindon get out of it. I really do. And I think Morgan will just find something. And obviously Carlisle, I think he'll turn it around. So anyone I think maybe from Fleetwood down could possibly go down at the moment.
I'd say from Bromley down, to be honest.
Possibly, yeah.
Possible. It is possible. It is tight, isn't it? It is tight. It's still fairly, we're not even halfway yet, so lots and lots to go. Let's see if we've got anything else in the chat that I've missed. Sean says, do we have a Christmas quiz next week? So I have no idea, Sean. I haven't got to next week yet, to be honest. This week's been pretty chaotic. Come the weekend, I'll let you know. We'll see when we get there. I'm sure we will. There'll be Christmas fun next week. There'll be Christmas fun. Don't you worry about it. And then I think up next, because unfortunately we haven't got the graphic slides for, because Charlotte's been poorly bad, but she has been an absolute trooper in doing the slides, and there's been stupid games on all midweek, so we haven't got any National League slides. So I'm blaming the National League. Sort it out. You need to be more respectful of Shah and her illness. It's not on.
Oh, well, it was the FA Trophy, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was. So there we go. So, and then National League, you've got the FA Trophy, and we've got the loads. So that's coming. But the National League, she has given an update. So we had AFC Fylde 2, Ebbsfleet 0. Ebbsfleet really struggled this season, just survived last season, but I think it's really starting to take its toll on them already. 11 points off safety and 6 points behind Boston, who are above them in 23rd. Fylde are now 19th and 1 point above the drop zone. Charlie Joliou scoring again, and the second goal was from Ustabasi. I like that name. That's good. FC Halifax 0, Sutton 0, snooze fest. Solihull 2, Aldershot 1. Connor Wilkinson put Solihull up in the 10th minute. Jack Barham scored an equaliser 11 minutes into the second half, but a late Jack Stevens goal sealed all 3 points for Solihull. Wealdstone 3, Altrincham 3. Callum Cisse put Veldstone. Well, I don't know why I said that with an accent then.
You did fairly.
Veldstone Raiders 1-0 up in the 20th minute. Tom Crawford. It's like I'm doing the Premier League and the Dutch League. Tom Crawford and Regan Linney then put Altrincham 2-1 up before Alex Reid on loan from Oldham equalised just before half-time. Altrincham converted a penalty just into the second half. Linney scoring again. That man, Alex Reid, got his second of the game, equalising for the home side in the 74th minute. And of course, limited because there was lots of stuff going on in the FA Trophy, which we're going to get to in a minute. So let's flick up. And we've got the National League North. Look at all those greens on the left-hand side. Not a great afternoon for Russian Olympic, is it, really, Ant? That's not a great result.
Not at all. Who were Russian?
Did they even come on the pitch?
No,
unlucky.
Can we just have a moment, though, to give Curzon and Ashton some credit, because they were a small fish in that league, even when we were in that league. But they were always really well run. And I think they're top of the league, doing absolutely amazingly. And just with the budget they've got, the crowds they've got, they're just such a small club for that level. Another great result for him away. Obviously the only away win of the week. But they're absolutely smashing it.
They are doing really well. Spelling Fan Chris says on the Russell game, sack the manager, player sent off after 11 minutes and get beat 7-0. That's not fair.
If Carlsberg did Saturdays. And it was stormy and the weather was dreadful. So it was... And I've been to, South Shields Stadium, and that would have been rickety as hell on Saturday. So it would have been a horrible, horrible game. A great result for Darlow as well, beating Hereford. That's a fantastic result for Darlington.
That is a good result. That is a good result as well. We'll move to the tail because we do have, I know people are asking about the FA Trophy. We do have the FA Trophy results. And yes, you can do your match reports for the FA Trophy. That's coming up in a minute. Don't you worry. Of course, we don't have our Ben at the minute, but we'll do what we can with these National League, North and South. As Claire says, Curzon Ashton firing at the top of the league. 39
game in hand as well. Whoa.
Game in hand over Kings Lynn Town and Chorley and Scunthorpe as well. So they could be well clear. Could be well clear. Then you've got Scunthorpe, Kidderminster, Alfreton Town, and Buxton in the playoffs. While at the bottom it is Radcliffe, Marine, Needham Market, and Russell Olympic after that 7-0 loss, taking them to -25.
Seems like every single time anyone from this podcast adopts a National League North team, they do really, really badly.
Like a stone.
So I think that we need to just quit that now.
I do have some news on Needham Market, though, because on Tuesday, it was the quarter-final of the Suffolk Premier Cup. Needham Market versus Ipswich Wanderers. It finished 0-0, so it sounded an absolute cracker. But Needham won 3-2 on penalties. So there we go. The Suffolk Cup dreamers.
Get
the
in,
Suffolk
Needham.
Cup dreamers ongoing for another season from the market. Leonard. Come on.
It's the one they all want to win. Get it on the telly. The Suffolk Cup. Brilliant win for them there. Graham says local derby. Well, I'd expect so if it's in the Suffolk Cup.
The Suffolk
Come
on, Graham.
You'd hope so.
Come on, man.
You would hope so. Oh dear. Down south.
Graham, man.
Oh dear. Local derby in the local cup. It's a shocker. National League South. So I'm sure everyone wants to talk about Hampton nil, Western Superman nil, which I was supposed to go to today, but got cancelled this morning. So not to see football, that's for sure. Bournemouth winning 3-0 St Albans.
Yeah, that's a really good result. Bournemouth obviously relegated last season. They've been in the National League for a long time. Actually, a team that I hated because they always used to beat us. And I mean, like, always used to beat us. Luke Garrard's doing an amazing job, I think, with them again. Obviously, last season, for whatever reason, didn't really work out, but he's back now, and they're doing pretty well.
Good win for them. 3-0. And Enfield Town winning at Tonbridge Angels. Obviously, they haven't subscribed to the podcast because Angels get their wings, you see. So more subscribers and Tonbridge Angels will be back. We'll be back next week. Of course, we've got no Ben, so we'll go to the league table. There we are indeed. Maidstone still in capitals. Didn't play, so they didn't win this weekend. So I'll let you off, Ben, but you're still up there, still close enough. Truro City leading the way still from Weston-super-Mare. Torquay United, Bournemouth, Farnborough, Worthing, Eastwood Borough, Dorking Wanderers all separated by 4 points, the top 8, which is pretty tight. That is pretty tight.
Wow.
Do you know what I mentioned about don't adopt non-league sides because they're crap? I did see a Hornchurch as well, and they're doing all right. So, you know, I'm 1 for 2 at the moment.
One for 2, yeah.
More than making up for Needham being crap.
Being dreadful.
They're doing all right only, though.
That's how bad the Needham pick is. He's happy with a safe mid-table. A safe mid-table to balance it out will do.
They're in capitals, you know what I mean?
We can't expect too much. And at the other end of the table, we've got Aveley, Enfield Town, who obviously won, so that was good for them. St Albans City and Weymouth. Weymouth indeed. Mr. Luke says, please don't let Truro go up if we're still in the National League next season. What a trek from Gateshead to Truro.
Think though, Luke, what a weekend away. You're old enough now. Get down on the piss, kiddo.
Exactly. Beautiful part of the world down there.
Happy days.
Absolutely. If you get a nice, sort of late summer fixture maybe, or early summer, that'd be lovely down there. Go to a bit of Truro. You love it.
Get them on a Tuesday night.
Yeah. Tuesday night in January. End of January. Lovely.
It was like a trip to Wimbledon. That nearly killed me, I think. That was a Tuesday night. Lucky in Wimbledon.
Oh, yeah.
Lost a 2-0 lead as well in that one they scored. I get flashbacks to Bill Crellin's punch on that one. Why you didn't catch it, I do not know.
And the bless yous are coming in. Bless you, Claire. Bless you, Claire. Bless you, Claire. Look at this. Everyone is supporting the sneeze. And yes, we do have the FA. Of course I knew it was the FA Trophy. We had it repaired. We had it ready. Don't worry, people. It's here. It's happened. We'll kick off. I will let Spenny fan Chris have his match report because he's given it to me. I'm sure there will be more coming in as well. He says... the storm was more than the talking point rather than the football on the pitch at Alfreton. Any ball that went up in the air just came back wherever it came from. I thought he was going to say any ball that went up in the air came down. I was like, well, yeah, of course it did. Any ball that went up in the air just came back wherever it came from. Went out for throw-ins, probably more than anything. The only goal that came in this game was in the 86th minute when Matty Dolan scored a free kick and we won 1-0 and we have Hampton and Richmond away. So there you go. That was a good win for Spenny fan away. Anything on that page that excites you that you want to talk about?
I think Macclesfield beating Altrincham, albeit on pens. Our Macclesfield really... They pay a lot for their players. And
is Robbie Savage still manager there?
Yeah.
He owns them, doesn't he? I don't know if he's the manager. He's the
manager as well. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Crazy. I think when you look at that, you'd expect most of them results, really.
Gainsborough beating Russell's a good result, isn't it, for Gainsborough? Aren't they below Russell in the pyramid? Oh, Mark's not completely not a shite.
I don't know, to be honest.
I don't know which league they're in, but Chris says gravity is amazing. Gravity is amazing.
Speaking of Chris, because Chris is an Oldham fan, didn't they get battered? Oldham.
Yeah, he mentioned that straight at the start. And
yeah.
Yes, he did,
look at this one here. Sittingbourne were one of the lowest ranked teams still in the competition. And obviously they've smashed it, getting through to the next round. Sittingbourne, bit of a soft place in my heart because it's where like my nan's from and a lot of my family So I like to see Sittingbourne doing well. Although people from there affectionately call it Shittingbourne. And there's a reason for that. While we're on it, do you mind if I just talk about Solihull Moors match?
Yeah, go for it.
So I don't know if you've seen the goals. So Solihull took the lead. And then, actually, if you go to my Twitter, people that are on here, Sam, maybe you can retweet it or something on the podcast Twitter. There is a video of Radcliffe's winning goal, which is just so funny. But anyway, Solihull actually went ahead in the 12th minute. And then Scott Duxbury, former Stockport County boy, equalised on the 42nd minute. And it was a special Scott Duxbury special where, let's be honest, Scott, it was a cross, weren't it, mate? You've done it before, kidder, and I'm sure you do it again. But no, the winning goal was right at the end of the match, 92nd minute. Free kicks come in. And what is the keeper doing? It's literally got the ball and it's hit off his hand and gone in the net. It's the easiest save of the day for the goalkeeper. And obviously it's put Radcliffe through at the last bit of the match. But honestly, you need to all go and see that. You need to all go and see that goal because I bet Ant's looking for it now.
I was having a quick look, but I couldn't find it.
I saw you retweet it, Claire. I watched it before.
I retweeted it just before we came on, and
did you? I'll watch it afterwards. Yeah. I'm just looking at what
down on my page after the podcast.
I'm just looking at. I mean, obviously Stockton beating Oldham, Stockton on the local side, but yeah, so good for them. But I'm just looking at Biggleswade Town beating the FC Tottenham. So like cracking couple of names there.
AFC Tottenham is local to me. I've played on their pitch when I was younger. I hit the crossbar from 35 yards because I couldn't be asked to run with it, and I caught the wind. And I thought I'd scored a screamer. But AFC Tottenham, that's for them. That's really, if they'd have got that would have been a really big win for them. But
if Biggleswade Town ever make National League North, I don't know where they are. So National League North or South, they are 100%.
Where is Biggleswade?
I haven't got a clue. They're 100%. I'm going to check now. They are 100%.
Where's Biggleswade?
Getting adopted as my national team because that is a great name. Biggleswade.
It's 40.4 miles north of London.
Yeah, it's in Bedfordshire, so they'll be south. No, they won't be. They'll be north, won't they?
It's to the east, but 40 miles north of London.
Biggleswade FC. They'll be automatically my non-league team if they ever go up because that is a fantastic name.
That is the one. And Shara's in the chat as well. She's given some love to Slough Town with their 2-1 win over Maidenhead. Yeah. Really good result for them. Of course, we do have to say that yes, Oldham did get beat by Stockton, but Shara she's not going too much because, funnily enough, they've drawn Rochdale in the next round. So the smugness from the Oldham game is just with a little bit of caution for that one. But Rochdale will be fine, Shara. They'll be fine.
Sam, just very quickly, right? You know how I mentioned if Biggleswade ever got promoted, they'd be in my non-league team, right? The bottom of the league. They've won one game all season. Without even knowing it.
It's a big if. As soon as Ants mentioned their name, they got deducted 25 points, sunk straight to the bottom of the league. Sorry, Biggleswade. We do apologise. But just west of Cambridge from Graham. There we go.
Can I just quickly mention something? Clitheroe have parted ways with Jimmy Bell, but Sean McConville, who is ex-Accrington captain, he has now taken over the role as Clitheroe manager, which will be exciting for him. It'll be his first managerial role, so it'll be quite exciting for McConville, and I do really hope he does well.
Fuck to him.
Hate him. It was awful for us.
There we are. different opinions. That's why we love this pod. See, that's why we love the pod. And yes, just to say, I think just to confirm, yes, you're playing Farsley and not Russell. But to be fair, the fact that Shah even did some graphics this week is an absolute trooper because she's been really, really, really unwell. So massive thank you to Shah for that. Just to give us something to look at in amongst the snowy background graphics. I think we've got one more page here. There, Eastleigh picked up a win at Hammer. Rochdale won as well. Anything on that page to jump up with? Of course, Dagenham and Redbridge are the giant killers in the FA Cup, but not so much in the FA Trophy. They've been giant killed by Chertsey. Yes, they've been giant killed by Chertsey. There we go. I'll answer my own question. It has. They did.
Oh, I didn't realise it was a question.
No,
I thought everyone had froze again.
I just opened the floor and I thought everyone had froze.
You can't trust you, Sam. That's the issue.
Can't trust me. It's been a problem my whole life, Claire. A problem my whole life.
Also, I was on about the wrong Biggleswade. They're in the Southern Central League and they're 14th. Slightly better.
Who are you looking at? There isn't a Biddles.
In every league there is possible. It must be that Biggleswade.
It can't be two.
They've got two teams. I mean, it's all gone badly wrong for me, supporting them. Who do I like now? I don't like Biggleswade anymore. Chertsey Town.
Where is Chertsey?
The idea.
Alexa, where's Chertsey?
Something I found on the web. According to Wikipedia,
Sorry.
Chelsea is a neighbourhood on the west side of the borough of Manhattan in New York City.
Apparently, it's in New York City.
New York City. They did well. They want to get in the FA Trophy. That's a long way. A long way for Dagenham and Redbridge to go on their budget.
New York.
It's in Surrey. I've just checked. They're in I don't know. It's in South Premier League, Central Division. Sorry.
We're in the league. Or have you jinxed them already, Ant? Where are they?
I don't know. Sorry. Let's have a look. 2 seconds. Table.
Drum roll.
They are 8th. They're 8th. They're all right.
I do have a match report from Shah, if I can find it. Hang on.
Shah, you were missing doing the
I've got it. And yes, and she's setting you up for this one, Claire, as well, ready for you to jump in on this one, because I know there's something with this game you want to speak about. But Leamington 0, Rochdale 2. Dale played very well, was very comfortable on the ball against Leamington. They never looked in trouble. Easton Gilmore yet again controlling the midfield. Aidan Barlow and Tarin Alarakia. Is that how we pronounce him? Tarin was my man in the batch. First goal was for Toby Adebayo Rowling and Matt Dennis, who's on loan from everyone's favourite Milton Keynes. Toby's goal celebration, he ran the length of the pitch, climbed over the bars out the ground and hugged a tree.
Best
the official club account of Leamington was like, don't really know what's going on, but it seems pretty disrespectful. It turns out he's just mad as a box of frogs. And thought it'd be funny to go and hug a tree as his celebration. Like, you know what? There's a tree at the back of the stand. Let's all celebrate greenery.
Can you imagine if it was like one of them, natural, like historical trees or something, where they broke it?
It was just appreciating the tree, all right.
Love the tree.
To be fair, like as much as like. Leamington and they're saying, "Oh, what's all this going on? It's disrespect." This and the other. It was funny though, wasn't it? It was a funny.
As soon as they realised, like it's just what he's like, and he's like a what do you call it?
There's many things he could have really done to disrespect them, but I think it's disrespectful that tree's probably watched games at Leamington for 100 years and no one celebrated a goal with him.
Well, to be fair to Leamington though, when they were advised that it's just what he's like, they were like, "All right, fair play." He's just crazy.
Can you imagine? Because he left the field of play and got booked. Like when he came back on the pitch, can you imagine when he went in the referee's notebook, hugged a tree?
In the referee's book for that.
You would have thought, because if you leave the field of play, you get booked, don't you? Like if they jump in the crowd and all that now, it's a yellow card. If he did get booked, the referee putting in his notebook or his match report, had to book so-and-so because he Left the field
legged it off
up the tree.
up the
I
tree.
don't know. Fop Mob's got nothing about a card.
Yeah.
But Shah's he loves a good tree, our Tobbs. Yeah, he got booked. Oh, gosh. Oh, shouldn't he?
That must
You
be the
can't
most
hug a tree
bizarre
now.
of all time,
Going
isn't
on
it?
with the world.
Don't go hugging trees. I wouldn't if I tried.
And also, Leamington have today announced that they've re-signed fan favourite Dan Turner, who's a good signing for them. And Shah says, I got the pronunciation right. What
there you go.
stab in the
What's
dark
that?
it was.
Pat yourself on the back head.
I thought you were going to say there that Leamington have announced that they've signed another tree.
I'm not even going to say that.
Signed a willow.
He's going to play up front.
Yeah. He's 7'9".
The manager stood there in the shirt in front of a tree.
Yeah, I mean, they should milk this. I think they should get a shirt round him and everything. That tree should now become a thing. You know, he could have started something. I think if I've got anything else here, I think that's it in terms of the FA Trophy. Don't think I've missed anything. I think we've done the whole lot. There's nothing else. There's no other games. There's nothing in the Northern Lights Second Division under nines. No, I think we've covered it all, haven't we?
Northern Lights Second Division.
I know. That'd be a cracker. That's where you've got that Icelandic striker from.
Like, I know this is me going off on a tangent. Probable ADHD things. But have you seen that Lapland have not had much snow this year? Because what is that all about? I mean, I know it's going off on a tangent from mentioning Iceland, and obviously Finland's a different place completely, but like Lapland without snow in December? What is that all about?
That's the end. It's all over. The dreams are over. If can't get snow over there, we've got no hope, have we?
Well, here you go. That's Lapland.
You'd be devastated, wouldn't you?
It's not like, it's not what you can imagine. Like, like you've saved up all them years and you're giving your child like a final, great Christmas Santa Claus, and you go all in, it's like being over here.
The kids over and it's just like going to the New Forest. Like,
no football talk next week. Shah says, "Woo!"
Shah's confirmed a Christmas quiz, Christmas quizzing, Christmas hats and jumpers at the ready next week.
Shah, I'll do a round so you can join in.
Graham, so result from the Northern Lights Second Division: Lapland 2, Oriala Borealis 2.
Local derby.
Again, here it is. Get your Christmas local derby. Yeah. Semi-final of the Suffolk Cup.
Oh, Graham, we love you.
There you go. And Shah says, me and you can co-host, Clay. A co-host for Shah next week.
Deal.
There you go. I might come on because Man United are playing Tottenham and are probably going to be getting battered. So I might need some Christmas cheer to come and cheer me up next Thursday. For sure. But we've made it. We've made it all the way to the end with our lovely team. And all that's left is to find out where to find some more of these lovely people. Where can everybody find more of you, lovely Ant?
Pissing Durham women fans off at @_Waterson. You can also find me at Howie Pod, which is the only Sunderland women's fan account. Listen to us on every Monday from 8:30 till 9:30 if you're not watching the Premier League stuff.
There you go. Wonderful. And where can we find the queen of the underscores, Rebecca?
You can find me here, _Rebecca, _Shaw_, and that is on Twitter and TikTok. You can find my Her Game 2 content at ASFC Her Game 2 and Her Game 2 Ice Hockey, in which we will be having more announcements of partnerships, hopefully coming soon. And then you can find my Formula 1, 2 and 3 content, along with the amazing Jen at Girls in the Grandstand.
So much. So busy, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Smashing it all. And Claire, where can we find you when you're not hugging trees in Leamington? Where can we find you?
Rebecca.
Oh, there you go. Nailed it.
Claire _Jess on the platform that is still Twitter.
Twitter.
Twitter. What about you, Samuel?
I'm on the Twitter as well, at Sam Absolute FBL. I am on the Twitterville. You can find me on there. And they're just doing podcast stuff because the podcast is bloody amazing. We love doing podcast stuff. We will next week be having Christmas themed shows.
Woo!
We're going to have some fun. Josh is preparing something for not Monday though, Tuesday. Premier League is going to be a Tuesday again this week. I said Monday. Watch Accrington. Everyone can watch Accrington on the telly. And then on Tuesday, we've got some Christmas fun on that with the Premier League show. On Wednesday, absolutely women's football. There will be some Christmas themes. We're working that one out because if you didn't hear yesterday, massive congratulations to Freya and Georgie on the birth of their baby. So very exciting. So as you can imagine, it's beautiful pictures we've seen. And it is, and as you can imagine, they've kind of got their hands full at the minute. So I'm leaving Freya for a little bit to sort her life out and we'll work out what's going to happen. But there will be something Christmassy that will happen on Wednesday, I have no doubt, on the women's show. And on Thursday, absolutely lower league. It's co-hosted, as Shah's announced. Shah and Claire next week are going to co-host Christmas fun and shenanigans. Absolute excitement.
We're all going to get pissed next Thursday.
Do you remember last year when I got pissed on that pint of rum and kept
I think that needs to be, we need to bring that out again, I think. Thursday's the one. Thursday's the Christmas party. And you can find us on all of these socials with all these lovely faces here. On Twitter, we're at Absolute Ball Pod, YouTube, Absolute Football Podcast, and the same on Twitch, on TikTok, Absolute Football Pod, Instagram, Absolute Football Podcast _ Blue Sky, we're doing that as well at Absolute Football, and on Facebook, it's the Absolute Football Podcast. But we are, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday next week.
How as well, Sam, that considering I was guest hosting yesterday, you had to blindside us by putting a Blue Sky thing on that I had no idea what it was.
I've just watched that back, and on Butterflies, we are.
That's funny.
Oh, classic. Did you notice I snuck it up and snuck it off quickly because I accidentally shoved it up in the middle of the show yesterday? So I think Isha was like, what's happening there? Carried on. Carried on. That's what we do. We soldier on. But thank you to everybody as well in the chat. You are wonderful. We've had a lovely fun chatting to all of you. I won't say who you are because there's so many of you and you're all so brilliant. But catch us next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Have fun with your football teams. Enjoy the Christmas fun. And ta-ta for now.
God, my tongue's hurting now.
He's gone.
He's gone, we're not ending it. Sam!
We're still live!
Shit, hang on. Oh, I can do it. All right. There we go.